You know that emergency plan at work? Yeah, the one that's probably sitting in a binder on a shelf, maybe collecting a little bit of dust. Well, what happens when you actually need to use it? Today, we're going to talk about how to turn that document into real-world action, skills that can literally make all the difference when every single second counts.
Seriously, just take a second and think about it. An alarm starts blaring or there's a weird smell in the air. What is your actual first move? See, it's one thing to have a plan written down, but to actually act on it when the pressure is on, that's a completely different ballgame. And that gap between knowing and doing is where things can get really dangerous.
The truth is, every single workplace has its own set of risks. Doesn't matter if you're in an office, a lab, or on a factory floor. Hazards are just part of the deal. So having an emergency response plan, or an ERP, is absolutely essential. But, and this is a big but, it's only the first step. The real test is in the action.
And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. We're looking at how you get from a plan on paper to practical, hands-on skills that build real confidence and competence for when it truly matters.
Okay, so the answer is what we call a practical module, and the most important word here is apply. This is not about sitting through a PowerPoint presentation, okay? This is a hands-on session where you physically learn to use the equipment, you walk through the procedures. It's all about building muscle memory, not just head knowledge.
So what do you actually get your hands on? Well, this kind of training is built on 3 core pillars. First, how to respond to a fire. Second, how to handle a chemical spill. And third, and this might be the most important one, how to spot hazards before they even become an emergency.
All right, let's start with the big one, the one we all think of first, a fire. This whole part of the training is about getting you comfortable and familiar with the tools you would actually have to use. First up, the portable fire extinguisher. We see these things hanging on the wall every day, but when you're under pressure, fumbling with that pin or aiming it wrong can waste precious, precious seconds. This training is all about making that process, pull, aim, squeeze, sweep, feel like second nature.
From there, you scale up to the hose reel. Now, this is a much more powerful tool, right? Learning how to roll it out without it kinking up and how to manage that intense water pressure, that's a critical skill that can stop a bigger fire right in its tracks.
And finally, for key personnel, the training can even scale up to handling a hydrant. This whole approach ensures people are ready for all kinds of fire response scenarios, way beyond just the basics.
But hey, emergencies aren't always about smoke and flames. What happens when the threat is silent, maybe even invisible? That brings us to our second core skill, managing chemical spills.
This is a completely different kind of challenge. You can't just spray it with water. In fact, that could make it 1,000 times worse. This is all about knowing what protective gear to wear, how to set up a perimeter to contain the spill, and exactly what materials to use to clean it up safely. One wrong move here could be catastrophic.
Okay, so the first 2 skills we talked about were all about reaction. But the most advanced, and honestly the most valuable part of this training, is about being proactive. It's about learning to see the emergency before it ever has a chance to happen.
And this process really breaks down into 2 key steps. Step 1 is simple. It's about training your eye to spot the hazards, the frayed electrical cord, the chemicals stored improperly, the blocked fire exit. But Step 2? Step 2 is the real game changer. It's about playing what if. It's connecting that small, everyday hazard to the potential for a massive accident. It's about seeing all the dominoes lined up before the first one even starts to wobble.
So when you put all these skills together, the fire response, the spill handling, and that proactive hazard spotting, what's the ultimate goal? What's the real end game for all this training?
And here it is. This is the key. The ultimate goal isn't just to get better at reacting to emergencies. It's to get so good at identifying the potential for danger that you can stop a major accident from ever taking place. It's about prevention. So let's wrap this all up. A plan on a piece of paper? It's just a starting point. It's the practical, hands-on training in fire, spills, and hazard identification that gives you the skills to see those huge risks before they blow up. And that right there is the ultimate shift, moving from a mindset of just reacting to one of active, powerful prevention.
And that leaves us with one final thought, a question for you to take back to your own world. After hearing all this, take a good look around your workplace tomorrow. What's the one small risk, that one little detail that everybody walks past every single day that just might have the potential to become something major?